Welcome to another episode of Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is IK Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. And so has the gentleman that I am interviewing today. Today I have with me as my guest, he is a adult entertainer, award-winning adult entertainer, singer, performer, just all-around entertainer, Mr. Cali. How are you today?
What's up? I'm doing awesome. I feel great today. What's going on?
Good. I'm very glad to have you on. I mean, we've had a lot of discussions over the last, since the first time I spoke to you, but this week, I think in particular because of our scene and right before, and I was like, damn, he has such a good story. I really want to talk to him about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So here's our opportunity. First and foremost, let's start with how have you been during the quarantine, during the pandemic when it hit? Let's start from the get.
Absolutely. During the quarantine and when it has hit, I had to change a few things in my life to adjust to the whole hoopla of everything that was going on. Mm-hmm. It was so much backlash and a lot of things that was going on with this quarantine. But my life, what I had to do was just adjust it. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't affected me so much financially, mentally, yeah, because, I have friends that were, going crazy, like not crazy. They were just a little nervous about what was going on. Yeah. And so it was a mental thing for more or less for me. Mm-hmm. And I had to then help them mentally. Okay. And I was more of a giver this quarantine. Okay. But however, I mean, I still been working. I was able to work, you know, so I had to focus on something. So I was able to work. I've done a few more films with Blacks on Boys. I've worked with you guys. Mm-hmm. And was with an awesome scene with the other co-star. I forgot his name.
Tekken?
Yes. That was hot. That
was right before the pandemic.
Was it before that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was right before. So I think that was, if I'm not mistaken.
It seemed like it was shown more though.
Yeah. Oh, well,
there we go. There we go. It came out around the time.
Pandemic,
so absolutely. Yeah. But for me, I felt like the pandemic was starting like more or less in December or something around that time too. But it never hit me as hard as far as financially and work wise. So I've been blessed that way. But as far as friends and stuff like that, family members going like, worried about me because I'm out here in this world and we all are, my work does have me be around people. However, I've been blessed, highly blessed and favored, and my health is great. Good. I had just got a test and everything, when I was in Vegas for Blacks and Boys, like 2 weeks ago, negative. It feels good to know that, Yeah.
So I feel the same way. I got tested. I get sick for everything. So I automatically assumed, I'm like, okay, if I didn't have it already, I probably will and it'll be good. Yeah. But the thing is how it acts with other, like I have asthma. Yeah. So I've heard that it's really debilitating. Yeah. I don't want it. I don't have it. I'm being very, very careful with that.
Very cautious.
Yeah, just in case. So absolutely. I get tested almost every other week. The people in my house also have to get tested as well. And by that I mean like I share a house and you just want to make sure you're okay. So getting back into working, or you said you've been working consistently.
I've been working consistently. Okay. And I don't just do porn. I also do events like let's just say I do private sessions right now. With my clientele, I have a really, really small circle of elite clientele that I deal with, but I also would post ads and so on. But however, I'm very cautious about that. I feel like this pandemic has made me more cautious about what I do and who I run with. I'm very clean. I've always been clean. I mean, I always wash my dick after pissing. You know what I'm saying? But people don't do that. But I understand that now we got people, that's really thinking about it. Wash your hands.
Well, I know the fact that we have to talk about washing your hands and
that was the funny part when people went on the news. Did a whole little spread about washing your hands after going to the restroom and stuff like that, which is so funny because a lot of us had not been doing that consistently. It's now this pandemic has told me consistency. It's told me to just do it all the time. Have your wipes with you, and you have your little bag full of toiletries, which you're going to use to sanitize your fingers and your hands and stuff like that, because you can bring that back to your loved ones. True. So it's definitely taught me how to do that.
Well, let's I'm so fucking sick of talking about the pandemic. I know that we have to do it, but let's talk about so Mr. Cali before Mr. Cali. Where's Mr. Cali from?
Mr. Cali is from Long Beach, California.
Okay, so you are Mr. Cali.
I am Mr. Cali now. People are confused about that because I no longer live there. I lived in 2009. So a lot of people are like, okay, well, why do you call yourself Cali? I've seen you live in DC. I've seen you live in New York. I've seen you now live in Atlanta. However, Cali never leaves me. In my heart, I was born and raised and bred. Okay. I went to school there, elementary on up to high school, and even went to college. So
what was it like going to school in California? We always see stuff about California. It's romanticized. I know that there are certain parts. There's a little Armenia. There's Spanish sections, black sections, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
What was it like growing up?
So segregated. Though. Okay, it is. But then I had learned a lot of when I went to high school. I went to more of an integrated school.
Okay,
and so it was more academic. It pushed me hard, and made me rise above the stereotype of the black man not being able to, achieve, succeed,
get ahead.
Okay, and so the school that I went to was Milliken High School. Shout out Milliken High School. A lot of people know me from there. When I went to that school, it was when I was able to have a broad mind of the people I see, from whites to Mexicans to Filipinos. People don't see Filipinos, but Filipinos is really big. Oh God, yeah. LA, right?
Well, LA, New Jersey, they're.
See, I don't really see them out here. I really don't see them. Like, I really don't. Anywhere I've been, like Atlanta, I don't see other races. But I do love the experience that I'm going with Atlanta. However, living in LA has broadened my horizon as far as the eyes of the races, and you know how we all have lived together.
Yeah. So it kind of gives you, I guess, like. It makes you a well-rounded person in the sense of being able to understand different cultures even before you get out into the world. You're seeing them with you.
Yes.
Because a lot of times you have these people who are shell-shocked because of the fact that they grow up in like a predominantly white, predominantly black, predominantly Latin neighborhood, and then they don't know how to act with other people because they're not understanding these cultures.
They don't understand the language. Yes. And the thing is, I'm all about learning people. Now that I've been in those situations, like school, I was friends with everyone. Like I would be, and I was very popular. I sang and danced. So, all the girls wanted to know me. And then the guys wanted to be me sometimes because they was like, how you get home, chick? I'm looking at them like, I want to fuck with you. But like, I did not come out at that time. So I was just like, I played it easy.
So you're saying that now, growing up, when did you come out? Was it easy?
Not
relatively?
In high school.
Okay.
I did it when I was a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was very much like I wasn't ready to come out at that time. Because, my family put like fear in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother was very church going. We were in church all the time. Be ready when you're ready to have sex and stuff like that. And so it was definitely, I thought about it. I've thought about a lot of times when I could have. People have tried, like the captain of the football team, and he was fine. Like now that I know what I know now, bruh, I would have broke him down. Like, but at the end of the day, what's the word? Like you held it in.
Yeah,
I held it in. I suppressed it.
Okay,
I suppressed this feeling that I had, and yes, it built up. And so when I finally was able to enjoy myself, I looked for it, and there was this thing called a party line. It was like. That tells my age at this point. So party line was you go on the phone and you hook up, you talk to people and so on.
I remember those commercials. Those were
big party line, But LA party line was popping.
Yeah.
They would have party line parties.
Really?
Party line parties.
You would meet up with people.
You would meet up people that you talk to because it's like more of a group setting. You're on the phone with like 5-10 people, maybe. Okay. Then you go into a private with someone that you feel like the voice sounds sexy.
Only but you were going by voice.
We were going on voice and feeling and having phone sex. So I had phone sex quite a bit.
Okay.
Just talking shit on the phone. Yeah. So it made me my imagination really grow.
Okay.
So and that's even more.
That's very important
because at this point you might have met him and you like not really into the look.
But you brought up something very interesting. Yeah. We'll get right back into it, but I don't want to forget it. Imagination. I feel like that's really lacking today. Yeah. Because we have a couple, I think 2 generations at this point who are born with porn at their fingertips.
Absolutely.
Everything. I remember jerking off to magazines. I remember jerking off to ideas.
Absolutely.
Now, I find it very hard myself to sit there and just be like, okay, well, this is what's going to do it. No, I have to watch something sometimes.
It's very different. When my imagination was everything. I didn't see videos until I was like, Ooh, I was watching straight porn.
Me too.
My father had a big old box of VHS, and these bitches had afros on their pussy. I'm just saying. And I was getting off on watching women get fucked by big dicks. Yeah. And honestly, that was my turn on. And then so when I saw my first porn was white porn.
Okay.
It turned me on because it was two men.
Okay.
But they didn't look like me.
Okay.
And honestly, I didn't know that guys that looked like me were gay.
Well, let me ask you,
or anything like that.
So before we get into gay porn and your first gay porn experience, I have a question, and I'm not asking you to speak for the entire Black community.
No, I'm speaking for me.
Yeah, but what I find is, and it happens in Latin communities too. It happens in a lot of communities. However, with Black people, with the Black community, what I've been finding is it's harder for them to accept gay, bi, or lesbian people in their family because of their religious upbringing.
Absolutely.
So,
and not just that, we were taught just to be men, and you just having like 5 uncles, grown uncles around you, and then you have your father. I grew up with my father, very, very influential in my life, and all he would talk about is women legs and their booty and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there, and I would just chime in every time I felt like he wanted me to.
Yeah.
It was almost like I'm waiting for him to look at me.
And you knew exactly what to say.
On cue. On cue. Because he wanted to see if it's something too. I felt that way. Ooh, that's such an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
I'm so in myself today. I'm so happy about myself today. But growing up, it was very hard because, yes, the religious thing with my mother, very much in church and, bringing us to church. My first choir solo was 5 years old, so you can imagine how young I was in the church, and knowing that the pastor is preaching against what I feel like who I am,
saying you're wrong, saying
you're wrong, and listen, and they will have a full sermon about this, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why are we talking about gay love in the church, and why is this such a sin for you? You don't accept it, I get it, but I don't think God is sitting here saying, oh, if you're gay, you're not going to heaven. It's a sin completely. And that, love with a man is a sin. I don't believe that. So I got from what I got from it. I learned from it, though it did hurt sometimes to hear this man say that. I had to realize that how he was raised. And then I had to tell myself, I'm not going to be that person that's going to be one-sided. I had to listen to everybody's views. And so I started getting into this world, and I'm understanding who I am. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to be that guy. And then once my parents realized it and accepted me, there's nothing else anyone can say.
Okay.
Anyone can say to me.
Okay.
And let me tell you how they found out.
Please do.
Let me tell you how these people found out. It's so sad that my mother, was became a good friend with my ex. Well, he was my dude at the time. He was my first boyfriend.
What was that? Well, before we get into that, what was your first experience like with a man?
Ooh.
Because I know you remember that. Everybody remembers.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going back to the party line. So we're skipping stuff. So the party line was my first refuge. It was a way for me to, talk to people and not be afraid. But we were behind, a curtain. Let's put it that way, because we're on the phone. You can't see me. I can only give you my idea of who I am. And he did the same. And so that's what I did. And then I did it for 6 months. And there was this one particular guy that I continued to talk to. And I decided, I want to try it. Fuck it. I said, now I'm ready. I was 20 years old. I'm grown at this point. I'm in college and everything. And I'm like, I want to try it. So, hey, the only thing we did was jack off, but it was so surreal. It was like the biggest nut I ever had, because I wasn't really attracted to him.
Okay.
But I was
you
attracted
had that connection.
We had that connection, and when I tell you, he was like, in my mind, the sexiest motherfucker, because we already talked it up. And you remember, we didn't have videos and stuff like that. He was my image of what I needed at that moment, in the mind and mentally. So I bust a fat ass no. So that was my first time. But my first time actually having sex, period, was with. Well, intercourse was with a girl and boy. It was a threesome.
Oh, okay.
So
you got a little bit of both,
bruh. Like you have to figure it out, and I feel like, damn. Well, since I've done this and I jacked off with this guy, I went for I didn't go for it. It just kind of came to me. And I was in college. I was talking to this girl, and she was like, "I feel like you're bisexual." I was like, Maybe. I wasn't sure. Because I thought women were beautiful. I have 3 sisters. So,
I think women are beautiful too.
They're beautiful.
I've gotten hard with women. I've had girlfriends too. I feel like we all go through that point.
Yeah.
But then, it's either making the decision of staying in the closet and making a really bad decision that not only brings you into a place of kind of misery, if you will, but also bringing and ruining someone else's life too, because you got to think of the other person that you're dragging into your despair or your loneliness, if anything.
I didn't want to bring that energy to her. I had let her know, well, I had an experience with a guy. We jacked off, and she thought that was so cute. She was 10 years older than me. She didn't look it. She was grown. She was grown.
Yeah, grown women have come on, baby. Such confidence. I love it.
She had so much confidence. I felt like she was a man and I was a woman. I swear, she was so aggressive. It turned me on. Awesome. She was like, "Listen, I got 3 kids, so,
like a mini cougar."
Her husband is out for. He was in the military. I think he was stationed away, and she was in Long Beach. And she was like, "Listen, he cool with it too, or whatever. I can play, and when he's gone, we have an agreement." See, I started learning about agreement stuff at that, with relationships. I really realized that things are not so traditional. So going back to that, she was like, "Listen, I have a homeboy, and he's cute and this and this and that." I said, "Let me see a picture." I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to try this." We tried it. It was awesome. And I ended up starting like not dating her, but we would sometimes with her, but I was dating the guy.
Okay.
After that.
I was going to ask.
It was
like an open threesome. So everybody got pleased.
Too, so I was okay with it. I was like, I can deal with this. It's not until he started cheating on me with other guys. Yeah. That's when I was like, oh, no, I'm cool. And, that fucked me up for a while. I started just fucking. Yeah. But that was my emotions. It was getting it out. And then I realized now that I'm grown now, my life is not traditional. Being with a man is not traditional. Relationships are not traditional in my life. If I deal with someone, he has to understand now for what I do now, it has to be open for me. It has to be open, but that's got to be my bottom bitch, my homie, my partner, my dude. That's who he is.
So for it to be open for you, do you need a certain amount of time with him before you make it open? Or do you open it up immediately? Because I feel like
it depends on the person.
Yeah, you gotta get to know the person first. And then
absolutely.
Be like, okay, well, this is a person I want to be with forever, if that's the case.
Right.
But we're open and do whatever we want outside of it. Like physical is physical.
Physical is physical.
Yeah, but you
sex
come
is
home.
Sex.
Exactly.
You coming home to me. You giving. We're sharing things.
Yeah, sharing a bed, like
support. Support.
Exactly.
That's what I've always wanted is because I've seen my parents, they've been together forever. My mother passed in 2009, so they were together since then. It's okay. And that's why I talk about it because it's easier for me. It's my therapy. You know what I'm saying? So seeing their relationship, their union, having 4 kids and, struggling with us, but still, very much aware of what we're doing in our lives and being there for us. I said, I want that too.
Yeah.
I don't think that men will just not cheat. I don't know.
Men and women cheat.
They cheat.
Like
very
yeah,
see, that
women.
See, let's clear up the shit. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure my dad has, but he ain't gonna never tell me. Yeah. Like, because he thinks that I can't handle it. Yeah. But the way he would look at women and so on.
I feel the same way.
Be real about it.
My mom is a saint.
Love you, Dad.
Absolutely. No, I feel the same.
I'm gonna keep it real, and the things that I've learned as a grown man, knowing about them too. Yeah, they were very much human.
Exactly.
And
that's
I did not know that. It was fairy tale land. It
takes a certain amount of time for you to absolutely understand your parents, what they went through, right? Raising kids. How many do you have?
It's 4 of us.
4 of you.
It's 3 girls. That was hard for them too because I noticed they were very overprotective.
So I'm assuming your father was working for you guys.
Always worked.
Right? Your mom was working, but she was taking care of you guys too.
Exactly. Okay. But my mother got sick, and she stopped working. Okay. And so my dad, for most of my life, worked. Okay. She worked half of my life. So, not that she, I love my mother and she did what she could and she took care of us, which is work. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, she took more of the bear of that bulk when we were younger. Mm-hmm. And so it allowed us to be more middle class because there was still incomes. But when my dad had to do it, it was like, okay, we had not a lot like we did before. Mm-hmm. So, but I learned that as a grown man, you have to have 2 or it's you by yourself and you got to go for it. And the fact that they had kids, 4 of us, that, you know, they had to feed us, they had to clothe us, we had the mortgage, we had all this stuff. You know, they stress out a lot. So I understand life now. It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And
I said I'm sorry now because I was a horrible kid. No, honestly, well, I would say this. When I started becoming a teenager, I just knew I knew everything.
Okay.
And so that everything made them feel some type of way. We would bump heads sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
we are so now, my dad and I are like best friends. He lives with me in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he had supported me through my relationship. I was in a 6-year marriage. And I laugh at that.
Wait.
I was see, nobody knows that.
Hold on. Marriage to who?
So, well, not anyone in the industry.
No industry.
No one in the industry. It's been someone that is corporate. He does his thing. Okay. And I do mine. Okay. And we are so different, but we're so good together.
Yeah. Good.
Well, we were so good together. Okay. Only because, you know, he was an introvert and I'm an extrovert. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm a life of the party. I'm a Sagittarius. He was Capricorn. So Aquarius, I'm sorry. And he was
mellow.
Very mellow.
Ride the wave.
Sneaky.
Yeah, really?
And then, you know, they'll watch you though. They'll watch your steps. Because they know you so in the front.
Yeah.
They in the back like, okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
And guess what? Love him.
Yeah.
My sister under me, my best friend, is Aquarius. So I already knew his steps. Yeah. I already knew what was going on. We got together off of Jacked. Okay. Online. And he knew what I did because that's posted. But I wasn't doing porn when I met him.
Okay.
I was escorting.
So your transition into porn, what was this?
That transition was...
Well, first you did some escorting.
I did some escorting.
Okay.
And fell into the escorting in New York. I moved out to New York in 2010, 11, around that time, like at the ending of that with a development deal from a record company, which was illegal. They were doing some tax stuff, and then the federal agents came in. They took the whole studio where I was.
Jesus.
They were funding me housing and stuff like that with 2 other guys. We all had to leave and vacate that day. Jeez. Then what do? I had stopped going to school. I had told my parents I didn't need them. I got this. I'm grown, you know, so on and so on. So I was so prideful that I did not go back. I stayed in New York. Mind you, California is way on the other side. Ain't like I could just jump up and just go. So what I did was I slept on the subway. I was at Central Park a lot when it was hot, you know, because you have those warm nights and you have...
It's nice, yeah.
God
as
was
nice
there
as it
for
can
me.
Be, yeah.
And I was getting propositioned by so many men. And I decided, you know, to take my power and just actually, you know, get a price for myself because they were offering me $50, $100. No, I'm not going to do anything for less than this amount of money because I knew my worth. And once I did that, that's when I started getting on my feet. I got my own apartment and moved to DC. And that's when I met my ex now. And I told him, I said, you know, I want to try porn. You know what I'm saying? I honestly want to see if I can do it. And as soon as I said I want to try porn, I was putting up content on Twitter. It was my first time doing it. And there was porn companies hitting me up.
Okay.
And that's when I did it. That's how I decided to do it.
What was your first gay porn scene like?
Horrible. I'm going to tell you guys that something that nobody else knows because my manager at the time said, do not ever tell them about this scene. Don't tell them that you ever even attempt to do this scene. And it wasn't published. So what happened was I went to this one scene with this company. I won't say the company because they're upset about me because they were so ecstatic to have me in, you know, being a new person on, you know, and they saw something in me and they just really went out their way and paid my way and did this and so on. And it was when I was in DC and they had me come to New York. So it was out here in New York. I don't think they have it anymore, but hell, I'll say it. Black Breeders.
Okay.
Black Breeders. And so they had me come and I could not get hard for the scene. I was so scared, you know, because the lights are on you and stuff like I just couldn't fathom because my sex on film was on my own content was great, but I could not focus and fuck this person that I'm not attracted to because they had someone I wasn't attracted to. And I was like, oh my God. And I stood there for like 2 hours. Jacking off, trying. I did. I mean, I really tried. It just wasn't. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Yeah. So I wasted their time, and you know. So years later, I tried to go back to say, "Hey, what's up? You see me now? I'm working." They was like, "I ain't trying to have it." So that was the first time, and then I took a whole year, and say I can't do this, or let me see if I can get my mojo back. And then I went to Miami for, I forgot the company. It's so sad. It was a company that company that was all raw, and they were based in Miami. And I did my first scene with them, and it was okay. It was okay. I'll tell you about my first scene that went viral. That which was with Breed It Raw. Okay. Breed It Raw, Toys for Cocks. It was with Bam Bam. And when I tell that was 2014 going into 15, man, I tell you, they went crazy off of that because I ripped them underwear. It was just something that day was special. I was like, I'm going to motherfucking perform this shit out.
Yeah, I can see that being a hot scene. Bam Bam's
sexy. Absolutely sexy. And he's in Atlanta. He's a friend of mine in Atlanta, and to this day we're cool. You know, and a lot of people that I've worked with, we're still cool to this day. They'll hit me up and DM me and be like, let's do it OnlyFans. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Then I get busy, or they get busy. We have complicated lives, you know.
So you're working hard, you're constantly working, you've had a really good career so far in porn. But you're also in the music industry. You want to get into music. Tell us
I've been doing like the first time I told you when I went to New York, that did not work out. But music has been with me since I could say 5 years old, singing in the choir, being my first solo, being in different groups. I was in a gospel group before. Okay, how about that? You know, it was called By Design. Shout out to By Design. I was 17 years old in the studio a lot, you know, with a group, and then I went solo and doing background for different artists, like with Hidden Beach artist Lena, who was pretty big and like following after Jill Scott. Okay. If y'all even know that. So, like, you know, I can honestly name some stuff that I've done.
Let's take a long walk around the block. Yeah.
So, you know, it feels good to know that. And then it's not coming from anywhere. I've been working on this since I was a child. And now I had a great situation last year to move to Atlanta. And it's with the Development Artist Group. So they develop you as a music artist. Okay. You go into the studio twice a month. That was my agreement. And I would say 18 months is the contract. So I'm able to develop my music, work on my project. So I've been working on my project now. I have like at least 20 songs, maybe plus. Okay. It feels so good to be able to be doing something I love to do. And guess what got me there? What? The porn. Yeah. Let's keep it to be seen, to be heard. It actually boosted my ego and my attention span to like push myself, you know, because at the end of the day, I said to myself, okay, I'm doing this porn. I'm not going to do it forever, but I want to open up my own doors. Yeah. And see what can happen, because I do have followers and I love you guys. Thank you guys for being there since 2013, 14.
Would you drop one verse of something? I heard you sing.
Can I play it?
Sure.
I can't play it. It's right there.
You know what? If you want, send it to me.
I'm going to send it to you.
I'll put it in this part because I heard you sing before and it's absolutely gorgeous. I was like, falsetto. Look at this falsetto going.
Yeah. I mean, let me sing something for you.
Yeah.
Why you calling me on the phone? Why you not at home on time? Oh, you say you're going over your friends and you got a lot on your mind. Hey. Jesus. Just a little song. I didn't want to do too much.
Damn, no, that's beautiful. I love
Very R&B-ish. Yeah. That's me. I'm R&B, and I want to get into more of the hip-hop thing, and that's that touch of my music is very highlighted of the experiences I went through in my life, and I've been through a lot of hardship, and I've had some really great triumphs.
It makes a person. It makes a man, you know, like that. I like that. These stories are awesome.
This is who I am now.
Let me ask you something. My last question for you. You're gonna fuck Joseph Fox.
I'm about to fuck the shit out of this beautiful white man.
He's beautiful.
I told you, I like hairy bear boys. He got a nice body. Yeah. He got nice meat on him too. No, he's a beautiful man. Absolutely, we're gonna have a great time.
I want to ask you. You see a lot of people coming in the game. You see a lot of people who are content creators. You see a lot of younger people, right? That they're I swear to God, they must be like 18 at this point trying to make porn. Yeah. What's the best advice you can give somebody? And I heard you give it the other day. That's why I want you to do it again.
Okay.
But the best advice you can give somebody that's young getting into the game, like, you know, that has no experience whatsoever.
That knows nothing about walking in the door, I would tell even my young self when I was younger to own and value your worth. Know who you are. Tell them who and what you deserve. Walk into the situation knowing that you need this amount of money. You have a budget for who you are because you're valued, but you don't know it walking through. You don't know that people are going to spend this amount of money for you, but you're so green that you'll do anything and say yes to anything. Don't say yes to everything. Sometimes you got to say no and walk away. They'll value you even more because they see the confidence that you have. They're like, oh, we need to have this man. He is a star.
Yeah.
And they probably already believe it, but you don't know it. So know that walking through the door, I mean, if you got to fake it till you make it, go into this industry knowing that you are a beautiful black man and that people want to see your content. They want to see your swag, your energy. Give it all you got. That's all.
Beautiful. Jesus. I can go. I'll probably have you on again.
Let's go for
I
it.
can go off forever.
I got some more to say.
I know. Well, Joseph is probably downstairs waiting for us, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I absolutely have to thank you. I know that we didn't plan.
We didn't plan for this.
We didn't plan it, but I was like, you know what? I feel like you'd give a good interview, so you did. It's just a beginning.
Yeah.
I'll have you on at some other point. We'll talk a little bit more about music. Now that we've got the intro out of the way, we'll talk a little more about anything you'd want to talk about.
Let's plug in my social media. Please. So go to my daddy, Mr. Cali. That's on my Twitter. Go to my IG right now is the only Mr. Cali. I always try to keep it Mr. Cali. Also go to my Snapchat. You can go at daddy _ Mr. Cali. And then my OnlyFans is popping. Any models that want to, do anything, trade content and so on. I'm in New York right now. My OnlyFans is Daddy Mr. Cali. So I want y'all to support the brand.
Perfect.
You've been watching Demystifying Gay Porn. I am your host, Ike Grande. Demystifying Gay Porn is available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Demystifying Gay Porn is on X, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. And if you like what you're watching or listening to and want to be a part of the creative process, head over to patreon.com/demystifyinggayporn, where you can help support this audiovisual podcast and YouTube channel, and I can continue making content like you've just enjoyed. Once again, this is Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. Cheers.